What's up, guys? This is Matt Mrozek, and this will be an introduction or work in progress to this Industia Mechanika 1/8 scale black Moth kit. Hold on, I just bumped my microphone. Give me 1 second. And we're back. Okay. So anyway, I hadn't really planned on starting this, but I was kind of organizing my models, and this kind of like spoke to me, and that's a lot of times how I work. I'll be like organizing something or cleaning, and an idea will hit me. So I was like looking at this. Okay, well, so I had an idea pop in my head what I want to do with it. So I started them last night, and I didn't do an initial video because I had no plans to really do anything, but I have an idea of what I do want to do with him and for a base. So I'm going to show you where I am so far on him. So far, last night I went through and I cleaned up the pieces, and this morning I threw on a coat of Stynylrez primer, and we'll go through these, and I'll mention a few critiques. It's a nice kit overall, but I do have a couple little critiques. 1 second. Let's get everything over here. Okay, so let's start off with and put these to the side. I'm trying this new top-down look, so hopefully you guys can see everything. I need to get better lighting here for this setup. So you can see these have been primed. These were primed a few hours ago with the Stynylrez primer. And if you have not tried Stynylrez primer, I highly recommend it. It's like my go-to primer now. I really like it. When you first spray it, it looks like it's going on too thick and it's got a lot of orange peel, but just let it sit for a few minutes and it smooths out, and it's like perfectly smooth. So highly recommend it. Okay, so it's all been primed. I got a couple magnets in here in a few spots. The only critique really on this kit, well, there's two. I'm going to put a link down to another build of this by a guy named Dennis with Savage Forged Miniatures. I think that's how it is. Savage Forged Miniatures. He did an amazing, cool build up of this, and this kind of made me think of what I want to do with it. All the parts had a pretty decent step in the parts, meaning there was a mismold, not just a seam line, but the mold slipped a little bit, and there was an actual step. So that took a little time to take care of. I see a few little spots where I've got to go in and kind of refine. I don't know if you can see that here. Right here, you can see what's kind of flat where it was taking it out. But it was all through down here, down the edge. Luckily, the step, for whatever reason, did not occur in all this detail. But again, it was really, the worst was like right in here, and you can see in here I've got to do some putty work still. Right there you can see some divots, so that's where I got to do some putty work. You know, it wasn't huge, but you know, I don't mind seam lines, but mismolds are sometimes annoying. It wasn't that bad, so I'm not like saying it's a bad kit, but there was a mismold, but it cleaned up relatively quickly. I was able to get all the parts pretty much cleaned up in about 3 hours. With the time I've got it in today to get it cleaned up, pinned and magnetized, I'd say 4 hours total, maybe 4.5. And I got a little bit of refining to do. There's a divot there I got to take out. Some of this has some battle damage already sculpted in, but that's not battle damage. That's where the seam line was, and a little bubble occurred when I sanded it. You can see right here where my thumb is, you can see that step there. I haven't gotten it all the way out. So that step ran all the way down here through the waist. I did a good job on this side getting out, but I need to rescore this seam line that kind of folds in the fabric. So I probably have another hour or so to get this cleaned up. These parts were really nice, the little pouches on the side. No mismold, just you know, easy seam line to take care of. So I got 2 of those. The arms also had a step in them. Let's see how they look. Looks like I got it pretty good. I see a little bit right in there. I'm being pretty picky, but the hardest part is that it ran right through this elbow armor or pad, and that was tricky to get it out without obliterating all the detail, but seems like I did a pretty good job there on that arm. And then, so he comes with 2 right arms, the switch out, and I'll show that to you in a second. This arm, there's also a step in the same spot. And I almost didn't do the switch out arm because they're almost identical. The only difference is the way the hand is positioned. I have a little bit in here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, that I missed. The primer kind of pops out any areas that I missed, but for the most part it looks like I got it. And then let's see, this arm, the left arm is holding the rifle on the shoulder. This also had a step in it. And looks like I got most of it. I see a little bit right here where my thumb is. I need to get out. A little bit right here on the edge. You can see it right there. That hard shadow, that's a step that I missed. So I'm gonna take that out. Helmet was really easy to do. There's just a minimum mold line kind of coming at the back. It stopped right about here and went down the middle. And there's even a little bit left under the chin, but I'm not gonna worry about it because once it's on, you can't see it. And you gotta switch out heads too. He has the helmeted head and then his unhelmeted head. And I like this sculpt. It's really nice. He's even has a piercing in his eyebrow there. Really cool. Again, there's a mold line here and I still see a little bit. I need to go back and refine that, especially through here through the creases in the fabric and stuff. And then here's the loose helmet that just had a gate, which was relatively takeoff. Now there's a hole right here. I'm not sure that's supposed to be there. It looks too round to be a bubble. So I'm wondering if there's supposed to be like a way to, because right now I just have like the other hand kind of holding it, not pinned. And then we got some shoulder armors, and those were easy, just gates to clean up. So I'm gonna put this out, and here's the other hand. Here's the gun hand with the nice big long beam rifle. Nice sculpt, good detail. Again, just that step was a little annoying to take care of, but it didn't take too long. But it looks like I missed a little bit right here. Not sure if it shows up in camera. Right along that edge, I missed a little bit. So yeah, got a little more cleanup to do, but nothing major. So right now, the way this goes together, is I don't have a magnet in the torso because he'll get glued together eventually. And I always forget that blue tack sticks incredibly well to latex gloves. So anytime you touch blue tack with latex gloves, it's gonna stick to the glove. I don't want to touch it with my bare hands because it's all primer and stuff and clean. I don't get my oils on there. And this primer's had a couple hours to dry, so so that goes there. I'm actually gonna pause and bring the camera down. Okay, we're back. So I can just kind of show you how this goes together a little bit. Now, the other crit is that he will not stand up once you get everything on. He wants to fall over. So I'm gonna have to put a little wedge underneath the front of his foot. So right now the way I have this going is that I have the gun arm will be pinned and glued. And I have a pin somewhere for it. I had a pin. He's already wanting to fall forward. As soon as you put that gun arm in, he wants to fall forward. Let's look at the difference between the two right hands real quick before we do that. So the only difference is the hand position. This is the hand you're supposed to use when he has his helmet on, his palm slightly open. This is the hand you're supposed to use when his helmet is off. It's slightly closed where he's holding a helmet. And I've got magnets in there, and there's a magnet in the socket there. So I'm going to put his unhelmeted hand on. And I do have a little bit of a gap in there. I'll probably go ahead and, actually not too bad. Once you get the primer on there, it just looks like a natural seam. So I may or may not mess with it. I don't know. And then, so like he's got this helmet has a hole in it. And I'm not sure if that's designed to, I don't know, because the helmet just kind of, there's actually a groove molded in the hand. So I may just glue that helmet in place. I think that's what I'm going to do. And fill that hole a little bit. But I think I'm just going to get this all together and just glue the helmet right in that groove. Because it's molded there. And there's no reason to have it come off. So otherwise it's going to kind of hang like that. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to go ahead and glue that in at the end. So there's that. I'm not even going to worry about putting a pin or a magnet in the different heads because it fits in perfectly. No reason to. I'm gonna bring the camera down even further. Kind of looking up at him. Oops. I'm gonna keep the tripod here. Alright, so now I can kind of get a different view looking up at him. Alright. And then we have the helmeted head. And again, it just slips right in there. It looks really menacing there. But I really like the head sculpt, so I think I'll probably display him with the helmet off. These little pouches, they just snap in on the sides. And they only fit on one side. You can't interchange them. Like that one doesn't fit there, it's too loose. But on this side. And they actually like snap in, which is really nice. But he's wanting to lean forward right now. He's wanting to fall forward. And as soon as I put that gun arm in, he's going to fall. So what I'll do is, since I got a little cleaned up, I'll go through and I'll give this kit just a little light sand. I'm going to put just a little piece of blue tack under his toe here to kind of force him to stand back a second. And then these two shoulder arms go on. So this also, the little trick with this is also that in order for this to work, you have to put the gun hand in first here, and then put this shoulder armor on. And then it's kind of vice versa with the other ones. It's interchangeable. This stays on, and these hands will switch in and out. But that armor needs to stay loose because it actually has to kind of snap up underneath it, so kind of like that, and it'll hold it in place. So there's that. And then the beam rifle is in here and rests on his shoulder, just like that. And then his helmet will get glued into the hand back here. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to just glue the helmet in because it doesn't want to stay. It will stay, but yeah. Cool piece. So yeah, so he's already primed up, and I'll do a little, more cleanup, and then he'll be ready for paint. And then my idea for a base, I went and bought some stuff for a base today. I'll do that in the next video, but this is just kind of the intro to this kit. I think Mike has some in stock, or it says restocking on the website. So it's 1/8 scale, which is kind of an odd scale for figures. Usually they're they're like 1/6 or 1/3 or 1/4. But at 1/8, where's my tape measure? Of course, I never have it when I need it. I'm notoriously bad at being prepared for a video. I just had one too. I don't know. I literally had one like 2 minutes ago. I have a ruler. Alright, so 1/8 to the top of the head, he is right at 9.5 inches, and then to the top of the beam rifle, which is the maximum height, he's right at like 12 3/4. So good size for a 1/8 scale kit. I'll put the link down below to Industia Mechanika and where you can get this guy. But really cool, nice job, Mike. As usual, good product. The only real critique is that he won't stand unless you put a wedge underneath his toe. I'll probably magnetize him to the base I'm going to build, and that all the parts had a mismolded him a slight step, which was just took a little more time to clean up than normal. But other than that, really nice piece. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.